Join me as you and I and you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out. Hello there, Apple Bites. Of course, you have the Writ Ralph here, the Shadow Rabbit, and the Gnat on down below.
Burgers are a delicious snack at 12 p.m. midnight, which is why I hold my burgers until 12 p.m. midnight.
I agree with you. I think burgers are a delicious snack at midnight, but as you get older, they leave you feeling funny in the morning.
Am I here yet? Hello?
Yeah, you're here.
You are here, Shadow Rabbit. Guys, how have you all been? I feel like we haven't seen each other in ages, but we just saw each other the other day. There goes Shen saying, "Hey guys."
Hi,
Hello,
Shan. I mean, you saw me literally like 3 days ago.
I know. I saw you and Tony this weekend at 5 Point Festival, which was a pretty good event.
Last weekend.
Was that last weekend?
Fun.
The weekend before. Well, the weekend, whatever. The weekend
This weekend, you have a panel.
Yes, this weekend we will be at Eternal Con, and yours truly will be with Izzy and Phil Russert at a panel at Eternal Con on Sunday at noon, I think.
You okay there?
My goodness.
Do you want me to do the announcement next time?
No, that's just my William Shatner. Don't worry about it.
Oh, congrats. I didn't realize that.
I thought you were just like starting off your dementia.
Oh, no, that started ages ago. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we're very deep into it now.
Yeah, so if you're going to be there anytime this weekend, Lou, Sunday will be a good night to go if you're going to be there.
You know, I was trying to get my schedule to go on Saturday, but now I know it's Sunday. I must see what I can do.
Oh, if you are free Saturday, then by all means, we have our tickets for Saturday and Sunday. I just don't think that I can do Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, no. Dude, that's great though. I'm excited for your panel.
Yeah, it's gonna be all of us talking about this stuff, what we do here. The social media, the all our craziness, and trying to make it work.
Kicking butt and eating bubble gum.
Exactly.
Are you all out of butt?
I'm all out of butt, so we're gonna chew some bubble gum.
Sounds good.
And that's a perfect segue into tonight. Hi, guys.
Hello, Rain Permission.
Let's see. It's Ryan Permission? That's an interesting name. Hello, how you doing? Is Will on yet? He will be on in about 5 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes. Well,
like at this rate.
I guess since people already want the guests to come on, we should quickly go through our Kickstarters.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see. I'll start off with our guest from Monday. There we go.
So on Monday, if you have not seen, we had a guest, like we do every Monday and every Wednesday.
Very good. It's so funny, now before I would like do this stuff and not talk about it, but now I know that since it's dead air, and we can't have no dead air.
All right. So on Monday we had a nice conversation with our guy. Here we go, Ralph. You can continue this.
Yes, we had a conversation with our guy here from Malady, and we were talking to him about his one-shot black and white horror comic book, which is actually a pretty great story of an alcoholic who is turning into a demon as his alcoholism gets worse and worse. And that's the horror aspect of it. And it's just a great story. Look, right now they are at 2,454. They need what, $46, and they are funded.
Get them over right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that it's either two backers or one guy getting one of the higher tier labels. So.
And some of those tiers that he had were amazing, especially put yourself in the book. Oh, no, I think I really will showcase the one that I like the most, because it's like a leg up for any comic creator out there. Let's see.
Are
Let's
you
go to the
scrolling?
bottom of
Or...
this.
Dude, how
Okay,
cool
there
is
we
it to
go.
be in a book, though?
This is a beautiful book, and I love the black and white. The noir of it is just it's so crisp. That's what I should say. As you can see here by some of the
There we are.
sample pages they have up here, beautiful. It just looks amazing. You can feel the horror of it. He had a trouble trying to sell this because usually his stuff is really fun, and he really wanted to dive into the alcoholism of this character, the horror of it. As you can see, all the beautiful bundles here. Like here's a story commission. You can commission to do a story, and of course you have the digital art commission and the art and story commission. These are just some great tiers. Become a character, and very affordable prices here, because usually these things end up costing like $1,000 to $2,000. And here's the one: produce a short comic. You put your $800 in, you get the book, you get all the bits and pieces, and they produce a short comic of about 5 pages, so that you can see your comic come to life. And that is just an amazing thing for a comic creator.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but the book itself is amazing. You guys should check it out if you like horror. This is an interesting piece that he's put together. I think we got time to show his video. Gee, I got too many windows open.
do we want to take that gamble?
I guess we'll find out if we're fine as soon as I play this video, because that's how I usually know what's going on.
I have a bad gut feeling about this.
I guess we'll see. All right, let's rock. That's not a good sign.
Well, the connection is too unstable for you, Ralph. No,
it all.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Frank Martin, writer and creator of Malady, the comic book which you are currently on the Kickstarter page of. And for those familiar with my work and my projects and my campaigns, specifically the videos, know that I usually have a formula that I follow for these things. I have a script that I follow. I do a nice, pretty montage with music, and for this project, it felt disingenuous because Malady is completely different than anything I've done in the past. That it's not meant to be fun, particularly. It's meant to be harrowing and a struggle, and it's supposed to be filled with despair and dread, which is not really something that I felt a script would be appropriate for. So it's a story that's close to my heart, so I wanted to speak unscripted from the heart. And it's a fairly straightforward tale. It's a supernatural horror book about an alcoholic, and it deals with a lot of important themes such as abuse and self-doubt, self-esteem, and heartache, and addiction. And it's a book that I'm very, very proud of, but I didn't want to lie to people and say that this is going to be a fun adventure filled with colorful characters and monsters and fantasy that I've done in the past. So if you're a fan of horror, if you're a fan of emotionally gripping stories that are important to read but also tough to read, then I hope you'll check out the page, see if the book is something that you might like. After this video, I'll do a little montage with our theme song by Link Thomas, and I'll throw some art up there so you can get a little sneak peek. But I hope you'll give the book a shot. Again, if you are not a fan of horror, if you love your fairy tales with happy endings and sunshine and rainbows and of that sort, then maybe Malady is not the best book for you. But if you like the opposite of that stuff, then hopefully you'll give Malady a look and let me know what you think. Thanks.
There you have it. I think that one of the other good things about um, our friend Frank Martin is that he actually puts the theme song. He actually has somebody make the theme song for each one of his books, and it's part of the Kickstarter. You can actually get the theme song if you like it.
That is
Which
a very cool
I like
thing to
reading
have
comics and
talented
listening to
friends.
music, so that's right up my alley.
Yeah, it's nice to have talented friends who who can write you songs and stuff.
Dude, Frank does some amazing stuff. So you guys should support Frank Martin and his book. He's only $50 away from being fully funded. He does only have 48 hours left. So come on, let's get this guy funded. And he's probably going to be my pick for tomorrow when we do the Izzy show on Kickstarters, because I want to make sure he gets funded.
Where could we go see the Izzy show?
It should be on his Instagram, I'm guessing. I'll give you the information. I'll post it up on the Bit and Apple. You guys will see it. And it'll be Phil, Izzy, and myself talking about Kickstarters that you should check out, like we're doing right now.
And that is Izzy of Izzyverse.
Yes, it is. Izzy of Izzyverse.
It is Izzy of Izzyverse.
Who's actually going to be at EternalCon on Saturday and Sunday with his own table.
Whoa.
And I hear that Phil is going to be there on Sunday, and he's going to be at a table as well.
The two people you're doing a panel with are going to have a table? Incredible.
Does Phil have his own table there?
I don't know. I don't think so, because he's only going to be there Sunday.
One day only.
Yeah.
You never know.
Sunday. So I don't know if he has his own table or if he's sharing a table, but he will be there, and you can get his book Tragedy there on Sunday in person when it looks much more beautiful than on video.
Especially his lava foil covers.
Oh my God, yeah, those covers are just like breathtaking. All right, let's see what we got here.
We have Hypergeist.
How'd you know?
Because I like it. It's pretty.
Dude, look at those numbers go up.
I speak and the numbers rise.
Dang, look at that thing. 11,228, 239 backers with 27 days to go. And look at this breathtaking art. And of course, our pal AZ Volt is doing coloring, and he has his own cover, which is also holographic.
One of the best
holographic covers.
in the game. If you don't know yet, you will soon.
Yes, it's over here in this little rundown. Let me show you how beautiful this thing is. The coloring on this, of course, here goes AZ. This is the cover he did with let's see, Cari Salvejo. Yeah, and of course, colors by AZ Volt. It just looks beautiful. Look at this thing. And of course, if you want a naughty version of any of these covers, you can get yourself a naughty version. They got nice versions. They got naughty versions. And like I said, look at the beautiful coloring on these things. Oh, I told AZ that you can tell that this is his colors. Yeah, me and Nat saw this the other day. We were like, whoa.
Pretty much.
See? Naughty. Yeah, this you got the nice version, you got the naughty version. And it's just breathtaking. We're gonna have the guys on July 13th here on the Written Writ so that you can learn more about the project itself. But I really think you guys should support this. It just looks amazing. And of course, AZ is a great pal of ours. He was going to be here tonight, but he couldn't make it because he was going to be a guest host with us tonight. And it was funny because he was like, "Oh man, I'm on Will's friends page, but we I don't think we've ever had a chance to talk." So he was going to have a chance to talk to Will tonight, but and, you know, stuff happens.
Indeed, it does. But who is this Will fella that you are talking about?
Of course, that is Will Pleydon, who will be on in a couple of minutes to talk to us about his incredible art. Just so you know, here is the cover by AZ Vault, which will be a nice holographic cover.
The work that Luis Gonzalez, a fellow Bit and Apple member, is saying is amazing work.
Ooh, even Luz jumped in and said that's just beautiful. That's good to see. You know, because Lou himself is a great artist, and when we finally finish working on Hugbert, you guys will get a chance to see how amazing his art is.
And then you'll find out why people don't want me to review their works.
There you have it. AZ and the guys will be here July 13th to talk more about this beautiful project, but I think it speaks for itself. Go over there, support them. This is just like amazing work, guys. And with that, and since we were talking about Will, and it's a great segue, we will bring on the amazing Will Pleydon, who's doing a nice piece over here of Ghost Rider. Will, I hope you know your mic is off before you start talking.
He's muted.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was trying to tell him.
That's fine. I'm watching this guy.
Dude, I can watch him all night. But I would like to hear him talking too. He's been working on this piece all night. Well, longer than that. Because we also saw another version that he had, and then he decided to go with this.
All right, so what's your guys' favorite Ghost Rider moment?
Actually, it's funny. I'm a big Ghost Rider fan. I love the character. And my favorite Ghost Rider is Johnny Blaze.
Why?
Blaze is the original. He's also a more badass character compared to the rest of them.
More badass than Cosmic?
Well,
like,
more badass,
explain yourself.
like you know, even without the Ghost Rider power, he still has Hellfire, and he uses it in a shotgun, and that just says a lot.
Could you be more descriptive, perhaps?
Of Johnny Blaze?
Yes.
Well, you know, all the other Ghost Riders have had their powers, and you know they come and go, or they get killed off, or whatever. But Johnny, of course, has withstood the passage of time.
How does a Ghost Rider die?
That's a good question, but usually you kill them when they're human. Because if the vengeance of spirit is within you, you don't need to really fear about anything.
Lou says he honestly liked Nick Cage's Ghost Rider too.
Well, that's good because that's Johnny Blaze.
Who else is kind of disappointed that he hasn't made a cameo?
You mean Ghost Rider himself in the MCU? I have been waiting to see.
No, I mean Nick Cage as Ghost Rider.
Oh,
Ghost Rider did make a cameo. And,
well, Ralph, technically, Ghost Rider was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer part of the MCU.
Yeah, I did like when I liked the character they had. I liked the kid. I liked the fact that Ghost Rider was was a Spanish guy, and he had a car. But at the same time, I'm like, it's a car. Not to take away from that badass car, but you know, I like the Ghost Riders on their motorcycles.
Understandably so. Was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. written out of the
Effectively,
MCU?
yeah, they kind of went in their own direction and didn't want to work with the rest of the teams. In essence,
it was more the other way around. Actually, it was more the fact that they were part of the MCU universe, and then all the other teams decided that we don't want you in the MCU universe, which is kind of messed up because they started off with them being part of the MCU.
That's a different story from what I was hearing, because from what I remember, it was like they wanted to go a different direction with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. than what they wanted for the cinematic universe.
No, it was this huge fight that the guys in charge of the TV MCU and the guys in charge of the movie MCU were having. So it wasn't really the show itself, it was just them that didn't want to work with each other.
Isn't that similar to what the Netflix argument was? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, it was in that
Feige
same
didn't
group.
like,
Yeah.
But they've
Maybe
got,
he doesn't
you
know
they've
he's
got
muted
Daredevil and
because he
everyone in it
can't
now.
hear us.
It's possible. Let's see if I send him a message what happens. Hello, Will. This is your friendly neighborhood Writ Ralph talking to you, letting you know that maybe you don't know. Let's see. But it's great to geek out about all this stuff. I did love the whole Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it was an incredible show, and I wish it really was more melded into the universe. At least with all this multi-madness universe thing, you might get a chance to actually see it in the same universe,
I didn't actually end up liking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Did you like it in the beginning, or did you just lose interest as it went on?
I was interested to see the interconnectivity they were gonna do, so I watched like the first 3 seasons, but it was so rough that by the time it should have like connected with the MCU, it was like, how is this even related? And it sort of just like really put me off, especially with the way how they were portraying everything, especially the Kree. I didn't like what they did with the Kree.
Did you like how they
kind of made me sad?
Yeah.
It's like you're taking this amazing alien race and then you're just like making them mindless.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much wasted potential. Like that should have been where the Inhumans first came in, but no.
Well, they dropped the ball with.
Man, Inhumans, remember that?
I'm saying they dropped the ball with that.
I think that's like the one MCU thing that like no one even remembers got launched.
No. All right, so I know I can usually unmute a mic, but I don't think I can unmute his.
Oh, that's not good.
We kept him in the back room too long.
I just told him, because he was telling me that his audio is off. Is that under my control?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. It went all quiet for a long time.
We've been here talking.
The magic's over.
Dude, we've been geeking out over here just watching you do your stuff. So, no worries about it. And believe me, we're still working on the StreamYard thing ourselves, so sometimes stuff happens.
Oh, good.
So while we're on topic, what's your favorite part of Ghost Rider?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, gee. What my favorite era, or just the character itself?
Go with it. Tell us everything about that you think about.
I think I love that he's riding that flaming motorcycle. I just love that. I mean that whole Evel Knievel kind of look about him. The Johnny Blaze, I mean, I suppose I started reading it when it was Danny Ketch back in the 90s, but yeah, just that whole idea, and I suppose too, my dad used to read it with me. It was kind of a thing that we did together because Dad's a bit of a motorcycle and cars. He loves all that stuff. But yeah, so I just love that iconic imagery of him, the flaming skull with the wheels on fire, and just fantastic. I mean, just some of that 60s and 70s concept art from the Marvel guys was just on point, wasn't it? You don't really need to ever change it.
They did such a great job in the 70s with the Ghost Rider. It was just amazing. I feel like they were ahead of their times with the especially with the Ghost Rider character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know what you're saying, because I remember when they changed over from Johnny to Danny.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan of his, but I saw, I was like, okay, cool. I see where they're going with this. But my thing has always been, like you said, Johnny Blaze. And I was just telling
Yeah.
the guys that I like him. I like him because even after he was Ghost Rider, he was still running around shooting hellfire
Yeah.
from his shotgun and still
Yeah.
being a badass.
Yep. Living the dream.
Exactly. So, Will, how did this all start for you? I can see that you've been geeking out for a long time, especially if you shared this with your father. How did this all start out for you? What's your secret origin?
I suppose I got into comics at a young age. Like my dad, he was he was in the automotive industry. He sold car parts. He had a whole thing going. But when he'd be on the road, he'd buy me comics. He'd come home and there'd be a couple of comics laying on the bed.
Right.
So I first started reading when I was quite young. Like reading the early Spider-Mans and the Batmans, and then you'd have the obscure ones like 2000 AD. That was quite big in this country, like Judge Dredd and characters like that. I'd be reading that when I was like 9 or 10. But I suppose it didn't really take off until I was in my early high school years when Lost Boys, the movie Lost Boys, came out in '87, and I was in year 7, and the comic book shop with Corey Haim, and it just became a whole thing at our school, and so we were all reading them, and that leaks into your art and leaks into everything you're doing, So I suppose I spun out of comics a little bit after the '90s, like. They lost me a bit after just before the big crash. And
yeah, I remember the crash.
I was right along there for the Image guys when they were launched. And I suppose I was there when I bought Brigade #1.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and they lost me a bit after that. I just felt like the pendulum had swung too far the other way in terms of a balance between art and story.
Yeah.
And I feel sometimes it's a little bit like that now, but it's the other way. But look, I jumped back in, I guess, when I bought Marvels with Alex Ross.
Oh my God, Marvels is an amazing book, and Alex Ross is an amazing artist,
incredible illustrator. And I bought that, and I bought Kingdom Come because I guess at that stage I was in art school by then, and there was, back then it was pre-internet. You really didn't have. For you kids at home, it really didn't have any you had a library, you had magazines in the newsagents, but you didn't have Google at your fingertips or Pinterest or whatever you use, But
research was a whole different thing back then.
Right, you held on to magazines. I had file faxes full of these are cars, these are buildings, these are faces, you just collected things, because you might need a reference.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is why I got such a big book selection.
Yeah, right. And and there's I suppose there's a romantic notion that is effective, but it wasn't really that effective. But especially with time. But yeah, like I just got into it again. I probably never really got into the heavy collecting, but I was certainly more about getting the graphic novels and reading those. And when you become an adult, sometimes other things pull into your life. It becomes harder to be on top of. I've got to get every single issue. It was for me anyway.
Sure.
But
I completely understand where you're coming from. It was in the mid 2000s somewhere where I said I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. But the love for it never went away. But I suppose I don't know. I suppose the more the movies come out, and it's good to see some of the movies now are actually they understand the characters a bit. I can't tell you the last Superman movie I saw where they understood Superman. If I can say that without offending anybody, but Superman's the character I love. That's my go-to. But I don't feel they understand the inspirational hope point of Superman. It's all about the powers, Right. Much like Disney don't quite understand how to use a Jedi yet. It's still they're still learning the philosophy of it all.
It's
But
funny that you say that because I think the problem with with both characters, with both things, is the fact that they don't know how to do the hope and that whole aspect of the superheroes that we grew up with. It wasn't thrown into our faces. It was just something the character was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Superman was the super heroic character who signified all this stuff. Luke Skywalker was this guy who signified all this stuff. It wasn't, it was part of the story. It wasn't something that was thrown at us at all times,
Correct. And look,
there's-
the great balance between Superman and Batman was Superman represented what we all wanted to be.
Right.
Batman was the human reaction to what that would be.
Exactly.
And that's when I'm watching a movie when they're both the same in terms of their outlook on life.
Exactly.
Then what am I watching? Yeah, cool. You got some cool effects, and I suppose in the modern world you've got to tend to. I see a lot of people raging about the new Star Wars and Obi-Wan, and I just think sometimes you just got to let it go and just enjoy the fact you're getting content.
I agree with you. Like I know I'm in the minimum here. Like I don't know about the last movie, but the other two weren't that bad.
Yeah.
The last one, I don't know. The other two, I was like, okay, I can see where you're going with this.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's when you move away from the creators and you start looking at corporations that are still trying to figure out the years of philosophy that Lucas had studied with Joseph Campbell and understanding, and even understanding, I suppose, ancient philosophy that we're now learning again now in terms of insight and attunement and alignment with source energy. I mean, that's what the force is. I mean, and I guess you can go back to Native American culture, you can go back to Aztec mind, I mean, you name it, Egyptian. I mean, they all knew it. Those old boys knew that stuff.
Right.
But it's hard to grasp. That's why they go with, let's make it a Stormtrooper movie, or let's make it something that's easy for us to get our heads around. The Jedi thing's elusive still,
It's so funny that you say that. I completely agree with you. I feel like we've gone away from that heroic character, the one that signifies things, that showcases things, and we've gone into this anti-hero type character, and a lot of people say, well, it's because it's more relatable, and I'm like, that's really sad, because that means that all the people that actually try to be like Superman, it doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means that you work hard to be that person.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's also part of the culture that's sort of around now. People don't necessarily want something that's not really obtainable. People want to see something that is obtainable, something that can be achieved, and
but that's the point.
While it is sad, it also shows like what's going on. I mean, especially when you look at what's currently like really popular right now. Like, take a look at something like Spy X Family right now. It's just a generic family, like a functional family show, and it's one of the top charts. But it's like there's nothing crazy about it. But the fact that that's what's relating to people right now instead of superheroes is something it's sort of a real big shift in dynamic, because nobody wants the unattainable anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I suppose coming from education, coming from a teaching background, I mean, I think that's been coming for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when I love healthy, free discussion and critical thinking, and when you seek to not offend anyone, you never create anything. You just create mundane.
Exactly.
And when you have cultures of generations that get offended at the drop of a hat, but haven't done the required reading, you end up having mundane material that doesn't challenge anything, doesn't move anything. And we all know not all discussion is correct in terms of our perspective, but it's someone else's perspective. And don't read it, don't look at it, choose something else, or expand your mind and argue with me and prove yourself right, or expand my argument or knowledge about my own topic. So the idea of debate in our society rather than canceling things, I mean, it's an interesting paradigm we're moving into, and I think we're seeing that a lot. And I think when you've got a film of characters, I mean, Disney's following a recipe. You know, they've done it for years with their cartoons. You know, they kill the parents off, and it's a redeeming story of the young character finding their way and new learning. And that's what they're doing with these stories. They have a character like Obi-Wan or Boba Fett, and they break them down, they build them up, and that's the end of that story. It's not, they don't quite understand, I think, that for someone like Obi-Wan that has grew up in that culture and had built such a powerful knowledge and wisdom around that attunement and alignment with the Force, I don't think he'd be shaken that quickly.
Right.
Whether it be Anakin or not. Luke the same. Luke Skywalker. Like, I mean, geez, I mean, it always surprises me when they keep coming up with these. Oh, now there's Ahsoka. Now there's, where were they? Where were they when Luke was going against the Emperor? I'd be a bit dark if I was Luke Skywalker and suddenly this chick turns up in the forest saying, "Hey, I trained you with your dad." Like, where were you, dude? Like, we needed you back then.
I was here, man. Where were you?
We were out over in Rebels territory.
I know, where were you on Hoth, man? Like, come on. We needed you back there when I was getting wiped out by a Wampa. Like, I mean, where were you? But you know, and I think that's why they keep playing with the same. And don't get me wrong, I love it when they're playing in the old OG universe, but they don't know how to extend it out, because I don't know if they entirely understand. Maybe Dave Filoni, I think, and Favreau, but I don't know if they entirely understand the philosophy of the Jedi enough to build something new. You know.
I agree, and I feel like the problem with them is that they want to get past this so fast. They don't care how they do it, because they want to tell other stories. They don't want to talk about the Jedi.
No.
They don't like the Jedi, you know. And of course, Jedis are going to be flawed, but at the same time, there's something good about the Order. They're not all bad. It's you know, it bugs me out how, you know, okay, since I can't achieve this, then that is unachievable. I'm like, there's people that I can actually do these things. They can achieve these type of characters. They can be these type of characters. I've met people who are good people, and they fight the good fight to be that good person as much as they can. And I feel like that kind of undermines those type of people.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's and I suppose too, where I really feel we are moving into a real age of enlightenment in the world, and I think we're starting to see a lot more schism between people that are very heavily sort of waist deep in the 3D reality of everything, you know, and then you've got people that are really rising out of that and creating new things and becoming entrepreneurs and really giving back, thinking alternative ways of growing things and energy sources. And, you know, like I wish they'd embrace that freedom. But then, you know, I'm getting Obi-Wan in my lounge room, so I can't complain.
It's so funny. A lot of people, like, you know, they were watching Star Wars and they're all like, "Oh my God, Luke Skywalker." I've been the same thing since the get-go. I'm like, I like Obi-Wan. You know, this Luke guy, to me, he's always been a whiny little brat.
Yeah, I know. I want to go to
when I saw him in the original movies, I was like, I don't like you. No!
Yeah.
I like Jar Jar Binks.
Even on Dagobah when he's sitting there, "Oh, you're making a mess. What are you doing?" I would have dropped him like a hat, old Yoda. I said, "Let's go get his sister." His sister had a bit of guts.
Yeah, and it's so funny. I've said that to people before, and they're like, "How could you say that about Luke Skywalker?" I'm like, dude, I'm not saying he's a terrible character. I'm just saying that I didn't like him. It's the same thing. Like people get offended when I talk about Harry Potter, and I don't like that brat. Like, I read the book, and I don't like how the character that he is. I feel like his friends were more heroes than he was.
But he's so unique in the movies. Haven't you seen the movies? He has his whole redeeming arc.
Yes, I know. Yeah, give me a spin-off movie, you know.
Oh, they already gave us that. That's called The Fantastic Beasts and Where Not to Find Them.
It's almost like a semi-prequel, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that they're taking the musical, which is a sequel, and they're making it into a movie.
Is that the missing novel or whatever it is?
With Harry's child or Harry's children.
Okay. But I suppose again, I mean, that's
movie, so.
what was appealing about that first movie? It was popular because it was that idea that the outcasts got a school to go to.
Exactly.
They found out they were special. It was a little academy away from everything, that they were magical. They had, when you start moving away from that, you lose the essence of the folklore, the core of it, the storytelling of it. I mean, what was great about old Ben and Luke, and it was those little snippets of stories that we heard in Obi-Wan's house that time, that the Clone War, that was amazing. Like, you just held on to that as a kid in the 80s, like, what was the Clone Wars, and who was his great pilot, and all of these things. And sometimes when you move away from the folklore, you lose the essence of who those characters are a bit, don't you?
Absolutely. I agree. And again, like you were talking about Joseph Campbell and Star Wars,
yep.
The hero's journey is an important journey. I feel like
absolutely.
Now they try to get rid of the hero's journey. Like you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, they try to put to a recipe, and sometimes that doesn't suit.
Yeah.
And I think that'll play out as being boring after a while. Like, I mean, we're not dealing with kids' movies here. We're dealing with content that adults watch. And
exactly.
I didn't really want to see Boba walking around with his mask off. I didn't really want to see that. I like the man with the Clint Eastwood kind of mask on, and the man with no name. And you could have done that in a different way. But anyway, they make their choices. And
but you know what I think that's them going. Nobody wants to see a movie where they don't see the characters or the actor's face.
And it's such an outdated philosophy. I mean, we've proven time and again that that's not important. Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool.
Yeah, Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
when he shows his face, there's some significance to it.
Mm.
Yeah. I wonder how much that is the actor too. TV show. Do you think it's the actor as well pushing for their I need to be seen?
It's probably a combination of things. I know that when I'm reading a comic, there's times where you don't see the character's face for like issues.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
I think it's just more of the detached philosophy that, the big corporations have about what makes a good story or what makes a sellable product. It's clearly dated and, run through some kind of algorithm, but I don't know that it applies to really anything anymore. I mean, I guess if they're making money, they've got it figured out in their mind, and there's enough love for these characters that people keep rolling up even when they're disappointed.
Yeah. Well, imagine trying to make a film.
I don't know if that's a good thing either.
Imagine trying to make a film under their banner. You'd have so many people involved. So many voices in the room, so many people wanting to make changes. Like it'd be very difficult, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. I guess from a very non-consequential, backseat driver position, I can say something to the effect of, well, if you've got a vision, you should follow it through.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yes, well, we've got $500 million invested in this project, so we'll be following our consultants. Thank you.
Yes, and our story committee, and
and then you get, what you've been getting now, which is this blasé, watered down, Rotten Tomatoes loves it with their legitimate scoring criteria.
This is certified fresh.
Yes. Every one of our employees love it.
Yeah.
El Capitan.
Yes.
I don't know, but
the formulas. Oh.
but then I'm watching The Boys right now. I don't know if you guys are watching that.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Have you read the comics as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I think they're doing, even where they're taking, pretty significant,
liberties.
Liberties. It's still fantastic,
Yeah.
So
I feel like the Boys is doing it the right way, while the guys from The Walking Dead went the wrong direction with it. Because I feel like with The Walking Dead, they kind of messed with the heart of the show or of the book, And here in The Boys, they're just tweaking things that actually make the story better.
Sure.
And
you've got Invincible. So if you're talking about Kirkman, I mean, whereas if you're having his input in the show, Invincible, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fear of the Walking Dead is it season 9 or something. I mean, who watches that? You know, I've tried. I love Negan. Negan's a fantastic character. I tried to watch it, man. It's like,
that's funny.
Has he also transitioned over to that one now? Has he?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what's even in the show anymore. I stopped watching a while ago with any regularity. I'll turn it on once in a while to see if it got better, and like,
yeah,
it's just so lazily repetitive.
Yeah.
So I'm
again
guessing
from someone who does not run a show or have any movies.
Yeah, our $1 million input. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's free. Anyone at AMC or Disney would love to hear it.
If you're listening,
you can.
We still love you. Call me. Yeah.
So I'm guessing, Will, that this has helped you with your art, especially since you have such a love for the geekdom, the characters.
Yep.
You know, I think it showcases in your art. And I know that you mentioned Alex Ross before. I feel like there's a bit of that in here. It's not the same as Alex. I feel like you have your own feel to it. You know, so
yeah, I suppose his work is more. I mean, reading about him and listening to him, I guess over the years, I think he's probably leans towards more Norman Rockwell style of having that really beautiful Americana iconography in his artwork. I mean, he's Superman. They're all stoic, sort of iconic characters, I guess. You know, like when I've seen him branch to, doing Frankenstein, I suppose it's a different look for him.
Right.
But when he's dealing with his heroes, they're flawless. I mean, they're amazing. I mean, it's incredible sort of stuff. I guess I don't really relate to his stuff except for the fact that we both do realism.
Yeah.
And we both use gouache. That's probably the only I see why people make that connection, but I don't
see. What I was going to add to it too is the fact that I feel like your art has this horror or realism horror to it, when his has that more to the other side of that, like you were saying, that heroic, iconic look. Yeah,
we've taken different pathways.
Exactly.
I went to the dark side.
But I like that. I feel like that because you went in this other direction, it gives your art this gravitas.
Right. Thank you. I guess I grew up loving horror movies as a kid. My mum is a big horror movie fan. And so, it wasn't unusual to have a big pile of VHS tapes of horror movies sitting on the TV, and you just watch them when they go up the road. Like I'll watch, at a young age, watching Rosemary's Baby and The Thing and scary movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like scary movies that probably weren't that appropriate. But all of that soaks into your zeitgeist on how you pull from. Like I guess what I want and I don't know if this ever comes up, but what I want when I'm painting is I want it to feel like you can grab it. I want you, if I'm doing a Ghost Rider skull, I want you to feel like you can feel the heat pummeling out of the eye sockets and that the bone feels gritty, and it, when the shadow arrives, I want you to be able to feel like you can feel his skin, all the steel on the guns, or that's the intention, and whether that. And that's what's running through my mind while I'm painting is I don't see this as a 2D object. I'm moving 3D around it in my brain. So I'm tucking around things. I'm going, how do I bring that out? How do I, the tricky thing with Ghost Rider is that you're not dealing with one light source or two. You're dealing with a flame, which is creating a new light source as well. So how do I get that reflected orange flicking off the skull? And, I'm moving through here. So that's my whole mindset when I'm painting. This is not to look like someone else's art style. It's how do I make this the most effective, right? So when I'm looking at it, I feel it, and I recognize it as Ghost Rider, of course. I hope that happens, but I feel the heat or the expression or the fear or the heroicism, all of those things.
I feel like you've got to that point where this is Will Pleydon art. You can see it, like as soon as I see the art, I know you did it. You
Oh,
know.
that's good to hear.
Yeah.
You never know. You know, you just do what you do, and
we can be inspired by people, but I feel like that when we own it, when we become, it's even the same thing with writing. When you first start writing, you try to be like other people. Then as your voice begins to build and build and build, you start to write in your voice, and it changes, where you were to where you are now. Same thing with your art. You are in a whole other place. You are in this place where I look at it and go, wow, that Will Pleydon piece is amazing.
I appreciate that. Yeah, but I guess you just do the work. It's and hope that the other stuff flows in. People often say, well, have you got a style? I don't know. It's my style is what I do. If you make the connections from a piece to piece, and that's your own perspective on that work, I guess. My technique is different every time. I mean, it's slightly changed, it's slightly improved. Sometimes it's tighter, sometimes it's looser.
Right.
When I started doing the legendary portraits, the Captain America piece is extremely tight in terms of its application. This one's a bit looser, so it just depends on where you're at in the learning. I mean, it never ends. I'm continually, like I showed you the Ghostwriter before. I made a mistake on that one. Oh, do you want me to show you? I don't know if we showed it on air, but that was the previous one I did. Lots of mistakes, but lots of learning, right? And
it's
unless
so funny
I'm
that you say that though, because to us it's like, whoa.
Well, to me, there's some areas that work nicely. I mean, that was nice and successful here. Not so much up here. Didn't like it. It wasn't gelling for me. It started looking like he had hair.
I
don't want a Pennywise ghostwriter. So and I rephrased the drawing, right? So how do I how do I take the things that I knew worked well and I've reincorporated them? How do I then move the hair and change it a bit so it's looking off the skull rather than creating a flaming Elvis fringe? So, if you're not trying to push it each time, then you're never going to get better. If you don't make mistakes, you don't learn.
Well, that's the great thing. You can tell that you understand that. I feel like some people don't understand the need to keep growing. They need to become. They need to keep crafting their craft in order to become better at the craft.
But I'm supposed to be good at it instantly.
Yeah, that's right. But it's the brain. I mean, our little operating system up there, the ego keeps us wanting to stay safe all the time. And I see a lot of artists that they get something that works really well and they've done a great job, but they're scared to now move beyond that because the brain keeps them bringing them back to that safe place. Like just do it again, just do it again, just do it again.
Yeah.
And I've seen that almost destroy them because they never do a new thing, or their learning's not going to the next step. They're repeating over and over. It becomes a trap.
Yeah,
it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
We're looking at your Hulk and how it comes together over here on your Instagram.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh my god.
That was fun doing that. I have never done a Hulk in color before, so it's always been fun to do that. And I love John Buscema, Sal Buscema, incredible artists.
Yeah,
and just consistent, amazing workers. Just came in every day, did their thing. I was saying to Nate before, it's a shame we don't see artists that stay at a studio for as long as those guys did, or the Kurt Swans, or the. They don't have house artists like that anymore.
I was listening to you guys go at it, and I completely agree. I feel like it's not like it used to be, where you had a creative team really take a hold of a book and shape it into something. Now it's like, let's get two people and throw them in there.
Yeah, and that doesn't work. Let's change quick. I mean, there's no resilience with building the property.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Look, and I'm talking completely out of school. I don't know what those discussions are behind doors, and for all I know, the editor-in-chief's having the same issues that everyone's having. But from an outside perspective looking in, it's hard to invest when you keep changing the goalposts all the time.
Yeah.
In the end, you just spin me off the cycle. I just think I don't have time to keep up with the politics of it all.
And I've heard that complaint from a lot of fans where they look at it and go, You know, how do we get used to a storyline? How do we, if you guys are constantly changing it with your teams, and then, you know, whatever somebody did recently is completely gone in 2 issues, you know?
Yeah. And with the couple of times I came over to the States and did conventions, I loved going to their panels, like going to the DC one and the Marvel. I used to love it. Cup of Joe and going to the Dan DiDio panel. I love that stuff. I loved it. But then you walk away going, oh, that team's on that. But then a month later, it all changed again. You think, well, how can I be excited about something or stay on it or continue, you know, to be resilient with it, you know? Because some people connect in with the story, some people connect in with the team, some people follow the artist. I mean, there's lots of different reasons why you stay with the book, not just the character. But if that behind the scenes stuff is changing all the time, the production team's changing, it's hard to stay with it, you know?
Definitely. And we all know that as the teams change, the feel of the book changes. The character, the way he's written or even drawn changes because each team has a different feel for their characters.
Yes, yeah, and like I love Grant Morrison, and one of the books he wrote, Final Crisis. You remember that one, that controversial one back in the day? I didn't mind the story. I was right into it. Then they changed the art team, like towards the end. I'm thinking this is just completely throwing me out. It's taken me out of the story because I was really getting into the rhythm of that style. You know. It's an important thing. It's a visual medium that needs both writer and artist, and you've got to be able to deliver a message without losing me visually along the way. Be like it changing an actor midway through a movie.
Exactly. I feel like that's one of the issues too, is the constant. Here's the big event. Here's the big event. Here's the big event. It used to be that a big event would happen every couple of years. Now it's like every year there has to be a big event. I'm like, no, just write good stories. Or just
but apparently, so many people are moving to indie comics just because they don't promise you this constant, unsatisfactory dopamine rush of, you know, this is, you know, the big bad. Oh, no, never mind, he's dead. The real big bad. It's okay.
We brought him back.
Yeah. And then by the end of it, they're kicking galaxies. I'm like, anyway, that universe is done. Let's start over again.
Yeah.
Take
Welcome
that, Uncle Ben.
Reset time.
Yeah, Uncle Ben, Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben. You know,
dude, it's funny. That they had to create the Uncle Ben moment in the new Spider-Man by spoiler alert if you guys haven't seen it yet. You know,
Ralph, how could you?
Messing with Aunt May, and I'm like,
not have because you can't stream it anywhere.
Oh my god. And it bugs me out because, you know,
dude,
especially with Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a certain character because of certain things that happen to him, and then they were messing with that. And then when I was calling him Iron Man Jr., people would get upset with me. I'm like, but he's Iron Man Jr. He's not the Spider-Man I know.
Yeah.
The MCU one for sure.
This is what's wrong with you comic book guys. You all expect things to just follow along your books and don't leave any room for independent creativity. How could you?
That's funny you say that because
from them where they just say you're a toxic fan and you never met the character anyway.
Yeah.
Hashtag L+ratio.
Right.
It's so funny though.
Lazy writers. You just didn't really love Spider-Man all that time.
It's so funny though, as a writer, you know, and when somebody tells me that, I'm like, dude, aren't you paying attention? Look, this is integral to the character. This is integral to the character. You get rid of this, it's not the same character.
Spider-Man is just a guy in red and blue who shoots webs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know, maybe Boba Fett was, you know, the most ruthless bounty hunter of all time with a mysterious past and he never speaks. But
in all fairness, I never got that from Boba Fett. In all fairness, I never ever got that from Boba Fett.
Dude, do you remember when he rolls in on the Mandalorian and he's exploding people with a shillelagh?
Yeah, but I never got him as like the ruthless
He's cutting
character.
stormtroopers in half with a freaking shillelagh thing, man. And then they're like, anyway, I don't know. He spent a couple weeks in the desert.
Oh, people were so pissed off at all that stuff. I was like, what the
rightfully
heck is wrong with you people?
I mean, it's just such a cop out to say like that's the story they wanted to tell. Great, but people can be disappointed in it too. I'm not saying.
Oh yeah, of course, I
You
agree.
told a story, but once you make art, it's out in the world, and people can
That's right. Yeah.
tell you what they think of it, and it can be brutal.
Yeah.
That's
I do feel
making
though
art.
that part of the problem is that the fandom has become really toxic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's because the
You just
corporations
found out
behind it
about
have become
that
really
now?
lazy.
That's true.
I mean, it's a mix of both. I mean, people feel emboldened to say pretty awful things about stuff, but also the people holding the reins of those. You buy a fandom like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, or
Yeah.
Harry Potter, because it comes with a built-in fan base of millions of people, and then when you disrespect that property, for lack of a better term, that fan base that you've purchased essentially for millions of dollars, them turning on you isn't them not loving the character. It's them being disappointed that you changed the flavor of chocolate to strawberry.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with you there. I feel like we were just like we were just saying earlier, the problem is that there's no love for the characters that were there before the company took over and decided to change everything.
Well,
if
but you
I
have
feel like
people
if they would
clinging
have
to the
decided,
characters that stay loyal. I mean,
yeah,
when you have these things that do justify at least the spirit of the property, look how much money they make, and look how much accolades they get. So I don't understand why
yeah,
there wouldn't be more effort to do that.
I
Dan,
agree. I absolutely agree. And I just wonder, and this is a question to everyone, I suppose, do you think they're starting to realize now that rather than trying to forget the OG past in Star Wars, like that they're actually starting to realize that maybe they've got a good character in Darth Vader or
yeah,
Luke Skywalker? Yeah, I mean, their greatest episodes that have the most viewing is when those characters turn up.
yep.
But yet they built Galaxy's Edge with none of those characters, or the gift shops have none of the OG merchandise. It's all got new First Order stuff and new.
Isn't there
I mean,
also an? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
no,
there's
I was just
also a
going to
legal
say,
issue where Disney doesn't own certain parts of the Star Wars universe, like the name
is
Jedi
that right?
or the name lightsaber.
Is that
And then
right? I thought they bought the whole thing.
I thought certain assets still belong to Lucas.
Is that right?
Maybe I'm wrong about. Maybe that's just conspiracy theory. Never mind. I'll look into that before I spread any
No, it's
more.
back. It's back now.
Yeah, you heard it on the internet. So,
Yeah.
like Abraham Lincoln once said, everything on the internet's true.
Abraham Lincoln. I'm pretty sure that was oh, never mind. Not gonna continue.
William Shakespeare definitely believes strangers on the internet.
That's it. I love it.
Oh my god. But it's funny that that you guys all say that because I feel like the fandom wanted to see Luke, Leia, Han all together one last time. You know, and the studio said no. What we're gonna do is we're gonna kill each character off in their own movie, and they're never gonna see each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was a missed opportunity for sure.
It was, and I feel like all they had to tell you the truth, if they would have just put them together in the first movie, they could have done whatever they wanted after that.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Because it would have been like, okay, when you guys know you love these characters, here they are in the first movie. The first movie's fun and happy, and it sets up the other movies. But beware, we're about to get really tragic.
Yeah, for no reason. Yeah, we're about to do that. Yeah.
And I feel like that was the missed opportunity. The missed opportunity was to respect the fandom and then move forward to whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Especially as a writer, I feel like that's where they didn't go, because especially in epic storytelling, you need to, especially if you're moving from one generation to another, you need to give the generation before some kind of conclusion. You don't
need a transition.
They weren't important, so they're not. They deserve a footnote in this new story.
Yeah,
I think that's fair to say.
What happened?
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. You know, and then I feel, and then that's why when I come at this as a writer, they go, Ralph, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, it's just part of writing. It's the journey. The journey says that you need to go a certain way. You know, can you go another way? Yes, you definitely can go another way, but you know, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Especially for something epic, something that's been moving down the hero's journey the whole time, and then you decide, well, we don't like those characters. We're going to get rid of them, and we're not going to give them their conclusion. We're not going to give their what is it? Their journey's end. There you go.
Yeah, and it's funny they keep making that mistake of not paying attention. I mean, surely if you know Indiana Jones without Harrison, you know, like it just doesn't quite work as well. I mean, it comes from an era. You know, it's you maybe build something new.
Yeah.
Instead of remining 80s properties, you know.
They don't like building new stuff. They want to ride the coattails of the old stuff.
Yeah, like you just can't have Han Solo without Harrison. You can't have, you know, like what are they going to cast Millie Bobby Brown as Princess Leia? I mean, it just doesn't.
You can't
it's not
say
the
that
same.
out loud on the internet. Someone will hear it.
It's not the same, man. It's just not. You know, I grew up in that era. You just can't do it. I mean, you just gotta. That's why they keep deep faking everyone.
Yeah, because they know that stuff sells, so they're gonna make sure to hook you with that stuff, and then go, well, that was just the hook. We really don't care about that stuff. We want to show you this new stuff.
Yeah, well, it's Kathleen Kennedy's attempt to keep us all on board still. You know, it's keep the OG fans happy. But I don't know. It's all a bit of a mess. But hopefully someone will come in and work it out. They need a Kevin Feige or someone to take the hold and
definitely
rein it all in, all the personalities and all the directors, and have a vision.
For better or worse, he did, you know, string Marvel, the MCU together in a way that's, you know, I mean, even if they took drastic liberties on every, you know, Iron Man Jr., Spider-Man and stuff. I mean, still, the last Spider-Man movie, I mean, if you've been watching the different, you know, cinematic universes, it was constant fanfare.
Yeah.
I mean, there were grown men next to me cheering.
Yeah.
You know?
And it felt all conducive to itself, like it was in a universe. It felt like that, you know. I feel like, you know, you knew Captain America and the Black Widow, and they were all doing their own thing, but they were in universe. You know, so when they pulled that final epic movie together, it made sense. It was believable.
It was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man was on in 6 different movies before someone told him, you know, great power comes great responsibility.
This
time, so.
Here's a big question: is what are they going to do with X-Men? Do you reckon?
I hope they start over from scratch and get all new actors, people you never heard of. Even.
They'll have to, right?
Well, we do have Deadpool, who's still available, and his little group.
And Deadpool 3 is coming out. So
and Disney is keeping it rated R.
Are they? Well, is that Clayface at the bottom?
Yeah,
love it,
dude, man. When I first saw this set that he did, I was like, this is the Rogues Gallery we're looking at right now.
Oh, I can't see my screen.
It's just amazing, man. You did a great job with the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, thanks. That's a fun one to do.
Yeah,
that's your detective noir right there, Raph.
Oh, that's totally detective noir. And you capture that original Batman feel. You know what they were before you know, they got changed around.
Yeah. It's fun. It's like it's especially when you look at some of those old, you know, silent movie actors, some of their faces, you know, like it's easy to draw from that to do a clay face, you know, that really good looking romantic era of Hollywood, you know. The Rudolph Valentino's kind of look, you know.
Exactly. And you have a grasp of that. You have a grasp of you know, that I guess that classic feel of what things were, you know, but at the same time it doesn't feel like you're stuck in that time period.
Yeah, thank you. I guess that's how you survive as an artist. You got to be able to. I mean, portraiture I did for years. You know, that's just what you do. You just move with the trends. No, it's just black and white gouache.
Ooh,
Wow.
It's painted.
amazing.
I think Phil's got the original.
Yeah, I remember he was like, I got the originals right here.
I'm jealous, man. Ooh.
I gotta admit, I love doing
How big are
the
those?
art shows for you with Phil, and I love seeing your pieces go, and it's just amazing to see how great they are.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice. It's actually it's become quite a nice feeling to know that they're going in people's lounge rooms and up on their walls. I like that feeling. That's probably one of the most addictive feelings of creating the art is packaging and sending it. It's a good feeling.
So besides the fact that you do these pieces and you're putting them up for sale,
Yeah.
do you as well do commissions?
Do I do commissions?
Yeah.
Did you say yes? Sure, it comes down to priority and what you need and when you need it by.
Right.
But yeah, often. Most of my illustrative life has been based on commission stuff. So, all the books I've always been involved in has always been something on the side. But yeah, the commissions have always come first. And I don't do so much, can you draw my daughter or anymore? It's more like, can you draw my old dad as a Native American? I mean, that was a big thing in the 90s. Everyone be dancing with wolves. But now it's, now it's sort of moved along to different themes now. So that's good. So
that brings the question. You have an amazing talent. Is there your own work that you actually are trying to get done? Because
yep.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
Yep. Does it ever get done? It's a lot slower. I mean, it's like most things, I guess. When you start to you start thinking about what it is you want to move into, other things start to fill in as well.
Yeah.
That's part of that philosophy of life. But there's books I want to do that I haven't got to. There's books I'm trying to write when I'm not a writer.
I feel you, but in the other direction, there's books I want to get done, but I'm not an artist.
There you go. I feel like there's a synchronicity there somewhere, right?
Oh yeah.
There sounds like a little bit of teamwork that could be done.
Like there's a collaboration waiting to happen.
Oh yeah. I've looked at your stuff and it would fit well with some of my stuff. I'm just making sure that I can actually get you some money because I don't want you to work for free. So
no, I think my family would leave me.
Exactly. And I've always I tell Phil this all the time, and I know he believes the same thing. I try to work it so that I can get whoever needs to get paid because it's important.
Yeah.
Man, I remember when I was an intern. Those burgers tasted good in the moment, but they didn't last long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sure.
That's always it's funny. People always call me, "Oh, Ralph, you want to help me move to a new house?" I'm like, "Am I getting pizza?" And they're like, "That's it? Yeah, give me the pizza, man."
Yeah, that'll pay for the chiropractic bills, won't they? Yeah.
Exactly.
Now it's just more like pizza and a swipe on the metro.
That's it. Yeah,
that's true. That would help out incredibly, or a ride home.
Yeah.
But you have amazing stuff. I'm happy that the people can commission you because that's important because this stuff is just wow.
I suppose it's more. I mean, with the internet's been fantastic, but it's also comes with every other person and his dogs on the internet. Like it's becomes very flooded.
Right.
It's trying to, and I'm an idiot. I don't understand the algorithms of social media. I don't spend hours trying to figure out how many clicks and likes and comments and emojis I've got to put on to get myself stuff seen. I find it hard to, like you put a post up, 3 people saw it. Hang on a minute, I've got 500 people following me. How does that, I don't understand.
That's one of those things that bugs me out all the time too.
Yeah. 3 people saw it. What do you mean? But some guy, dressing his dog up in a pajamas goes viral. I don't understand how it all works.
Maybe you need to have like a dog with your picture.
I think that's the great. I think bringing animals in is the way to go. Yeah.
What you could do, you could get a blue tongue and just put it with any of your pictures. Yeah. Yeah.
There goes Philip Russert saying hi. Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Hey.
Hi,
the man
Phil.
with the plan.
Yep, the man with the plan.
With
And
the
you all
plan.
know that Phil and myself and Izzy will be there on Sunday for a panel at Eternal Con. The big Long Island convention. Yep, and if you want, you can try to catch us there at Eternal Con as we do our thing.
He will be on live Sunday at 12 p.m.
Exactly. All right.
But yeah, telling you, get a nice little bluey, put them next to your artwork. There we go.
I could do that.
Bo, that probably will get you so many views right now, especially because Bluey is hot.
Yeah. Little blue catalog.
Dude, man, I love watching that show. My kid's not even in the room, and I'm still watching the show. I'm like, dude, this stuff is great.
Oh, we're talking about two different Blueys.
Yeah, you're talking about blue tongue. You're thinking of Bluey the cartoon.
Exactly.
Lots of lovely Australian cultural references in that show. I always wonder how it gets received overseas. But
oh my god, that show is doing so well here. People are going crazy for it. Like it hit pretty quick over here.
Yeah, it's got a lot of heart.
It does have a lot of heart. I think that's what I like so much about it is the fact that even if your kids aren't in the room, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, they deal with life and death. They deal with a lot of different stuff on there. It's amazing, you know.
They deal with some heavy stuff. Some stuff that surprises the heck out of me.
Yeah, I think the creator was a former band member of a music band in Australia at one point.
I can see that because you feel like what is it, mom and dad have this life of being rock stars or something before.
Yeah, there was something. Yeah. Dad's a washed up rock star from the 80s.
Exactly. Yeah. Phil Russert says, I'll be selling Will Pleydon art on Sunday.
There we go.
So if you guys are interested in some of Will's stuff and you guys are going to head off to Eternal Con, you can go find our pal Phil Russert because he's going to have a table and he will be selling some of the Will Pleydon stuff there. So, you can actually catch it in person and, cut out the middleman.
That's it. Plus, all of his tragedy stuff will all be there too.
Oh, definitely. That's always a plus because Tragedy is an amazing book with amazing art, and it looks so much better in person. I can't say that enough.
He is growing from release. He's about to release another couple of books with. He's just getting bigger and bigger, and I think, I've heard Philip say it a lot, and I'll repeat it. If you want to get onto a creator at the beginning, Phil's the one. Get his stuff, buy his books, support him. He's going to be the next big publishing thing.
I agree. You feel the energy off of him, and I got a chance to read his new stuff. I'll say new stuff, and it's great. His short stories are beautiful, and I have to say that the new Dynamics book looks incredible. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever worked on the cover of that, really talented too.
Oh, that's right. The cover of the short stories. Yes, Will did a great job. Will's going to be huge someday, so you better get on board now. I completely agree. This is the time to get onto Will's stuff. You get yourself to own one of these beautiful pieces. They're just amazing. I saw The Shadow and I had to get it for myself. I had to find the money and get it there because once I saw you when you finished it, it just took my breath away.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you liked it. It's I mean, I love all of the legendary portraits, how they've turned out. I'm really been happy with them, and the plan is I think we're going to put them into a Kickstarter book as one. Once we've finished all the series, it's all going into one large book.
I can't wait for that because it feels like it should be in a book. They're just like works of art.
Yeah, so they're good fun, and hopefully, they'll gel together as one thing without changing too much as you move along.
I agree with Phil. I want to buy them myself. Yep, that's definitely what ends up happening. I know when we're doing the sell show for you, I'm always there going, I mean, I should just get this one for myself. He sold the Panthero, but he really wanted it. Yeah, I remember he was telling me, I want that Panthero.
Oh, the Panthero, yeah.
Oh.
Moving to the Thundercats, I got Tigra I'm doing next on the next list.
Ooh, that should be interesting.
So I've got a few. Actually, I've got the list down.
Ooh, is there a list?
Let's go to the list.
Is it a long list?
This is a series 2. I don't know if
Hold
you
on,
got it
I'll
on
put you
camera.
up.
This is just my hand-drawn list I get next to the drawing board. But Tigra, Hawkman, Superman. I've got to figure out which era of Superman I want to do. Colossus, Vampirella, Doctor Doom, Iron Man, Robin.
Doctor Doom.
We know Ghost Rider. It's happening now. Flash. Don't know whether I'll do Barry Allen or someone else.
Right.
Havoc. Classic Havoc. It's got to be the black and silver.
Oh, with the nice head case.
Yeah, the Bill Sienkiewicz kind of covered Havoc, the love Bill Sienkiewicz. Rogue, Skeletor, Bizarro, and Quicksilver from Silverhawks.
Phil says that you should do Kingdom Come Superman. He has
yes. Love Kingdom Come Superman.
It's a good Superman, yeah. I like when people cosplay him as well, because it's such a different look for the character.
That's a tough one to pull off as a cosplay. You've really got to.
Yeah, you really have to have it. Yeah.
There's no large armor to hide anything.
Exactly. You better hope that you have some kind of physique.
You got to have.
You need to be older.
You got a bit of confidence. I tell you.
Oh my God, yeah. That's one of those costumes that you really have to be confident in.
Yeah, you don't want a cold day in New York.
Not at all.
Can I perhaps throw a name into your list?
Ooh.
Who are you thinking about?
I'm thinking maybe Gilgamesh from Fate.
Ooh, Gilgamesh. I'm going to write it down. I hadn't thought about that one. I do have like a million series where I just went crazy and wrote 1,000 off. Gilgamesh. But there was ones I missed. Like I missed the Vision because I was trying to build it so that if you start buying them, you can collect the series. So if you want all the Avengers, you can get the Avengers or the West Coast Avengers or Justice League or the Justice Society or Teen Titans. Like if you wanted a Perez style Teen Titans wall. So I was trying to link, all of the teams together, threading throughout of the series. If you want the Midnight Suns, this is the first one from that, right? So it's
right.
If you want that,
there's a theme going on behind all.
Yeah. It can be or it can't be. It depends on the collector, So I just wanted it to feel like if you were in that mode of I've got to have that and that, it'll accommodate that, or it doesn't have to be. It could be a singular artwork hanging on the wall. Like
we actually seen that in the art show where some people were like, "Oh, I want this and this," and you can see they go together. And at the same time, somebody goes, "No, I just want that piece."
Yeah. So like with Thundercats, they'll all have that same iconic pose looking up like they do on the beginning of the cartoon. When he calls the Thundercats with his sword.
Yeah.
The Sword of Omen, they all look up, it's that kind of look. And there's Transformers coming in the latest series as well. That's going to be interesting to do, but because they'll have
a while.
It will. So they'll have just say it'll be Optimus Prime. Down the bottom will be the little truck. So I'll do the transformed vehicle at the bottom,
Can't wait to see that.
So that'll be interesting. A bit of a twist to it, but yeah, in Kingdom Come, have Kingdom Come Wonder Woman and the Flash and that Hawkman's a bit different altogether again, isn't it? He's a bit evolved. He's got the Hawk body to him.
I think that's what I like about if you're actually paying attention to, the Justice Society looks completely different than the Justice League. The Justice League looks completely different than the Kingdom Come guys. It's interesting to watch. You can actually see the way it's supposed to be, which is these are guys from the past. These guys are from here. These guys are supposed to be from the future. You see the evolution of the characters or of the, I guess, the icon.
Well, the Green Lantern's a classic example of that, isn't it? Like they got the original Green Lantern in Justice Society, where it's more based on magic, isn't it, rather than science or not science on ethereal, I guess, powers. But yeah, he had the magic with the actual lantern and it's total. What was his name? Alan Scott, was that his name?
Yeah, the original one, I think, is Alan Scott. Yeah.
And love the original Flash with that metal Mercury helmet.
Oh my God, yeah, he looks so great. I love when people do him because it's just, it's so funny because you look at it and go, it's such a simple costume, but at the same time, it's so iconic.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of that stuff's really cool.
Well, at least it's good to see that you're coming from a geek heart, and that's why all this art looks as great as it does, because you have that love for these characters that the fans do.
Yeah.
So I see we're at the 30 mark, which means we're running a little late, but at the same time, it's been fun geeking and talking and all that great stuff. Where can they find you? I've been showcasing a little bit of your stuff on the side as you've been doing your thing over here. So let the audience know where they can find you and all the good stuff. Go ahead.
I'm on the Facebooks. So you can either join my page, which is the Artist Will Pleydon, all one word. And it's the same title on Instagram and it's the same title on YouTube. So just type in the Art of Will Pleydon. If you get stuck with that, I think you just type in Will Pleydon. Just don't request my dad. He's got the same name. He might be wondering what the hell's going on. But if you'll see the icon or the thumbnail will have an artwork on there anyway. So just choose that one and follow me along. I'm looking to build the YouTube channel up. I've got a few videos on there. I've been doing a large horror mural for the last little while, trying to get in as much as I can, but I've been filming the progress of those.
Cool.
So a very large montage. It's got all the classic monsters and the new ones. It's like a monsters icon painting. So I've been doing that. I've got the Wolfman and a few others on there. So follow along with those. They're fun. Like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. But the Art of Will Pleydon is where, on the Facebook side, is where I tend to put more of my process drawings, like behind the scenes stuff. And Ralph, I think you've probably seen some of those things before. I just put a Ghost Rider one up this morning.
Oh, cool. We're actually looking at the YouTube page right now.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So there's a bit on there. It needs to be more relevant, more contemporary content, but I'm getting to that. I was moving house, so it was a bit tricky.
And Frank Rodriguez is saying, wow, we agree, Andrew. His work is just amazing. And we have the YouTube channel up right now, and you can see what he's talking about. His process is here. Dude, you even doing Hotel Transylvania?
Yeah, well, some of those were just little sketch-ups I was doing once a week. And as a teacher, I was setting that as homework for my kids.
Oh,
I to go and draw a Disney character that I put up there. So you can kind of draw along with it, or you can just watch it. Some people just like watching people draw, but my kids at school were pausing it and draw a bit, pause it, draw a bit, and work through it like that. But yeah, it's just a bit of fun and just shows a bit of process.
There you have it, folks. You go check it out. I gotta admit, I've seen a couple of the videos. They're fantastic. It does show the process. If you are an up and coming artist or somebody who's learning the artist ability, then I think you should take a look. It will be a very interesting watch.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Do we have anything to say? Starting with, I guess, Nate.
Oh, I'm going first. Okay. So just a reminder, burgers are wonderfully delicious at 12 p.m. Okay, wonderfully delicious, truly great. Follow all these wonderful people here. We got Lewis, the Shadow Rabbit Clay guy down below. We got Will right on top. Don't forget to like and subscribe our own channel on whatever form you are watching us on. Hello, Leilani. And don't forget, most importantly of all, since I know that she's gone to sleep, go follow Floof Schmallow on Instagram and Twitter.
Wow.
I haven't left yet.
Not you. That was her now. It's Floof now. Yeah, you're right. I was wondering why she was so quiet. But check out Floof. She does great art. She has her own beautiful, unique style. And you guys should really check her out. And Shadow, what do you have to say for yourself?
Boys, it's getting late in the night, so I'm less eloquent than I would like to be. But as always, it's a ton of fun getting to geek out with you guys. Look forward to seeing more Will's work this weekend at EternalCon.
That's true. You get a chance to go see it at Phil's table.
I was planning to be there on Saturday, and I got to figure out how to switch around my plans. Also, check out Armin.
Hold on.
Nassim's
Kickstarter
coming soon.
Ka-chow.
That was great, man.
There might be a tier of some cool stuff.
Ooh, we always like when there's a Shadow Rabbit tier.
Ka-chow.
Very cool.
Shadow Rabbit tier. And we all know that Shadow Rabbit is the amazing man who can make dreams come true. And like my little Hugbert friend here that he's created for me, and he's created my dream into a reality, and he can do the same for you. Hit up Shadow Rabbit, commission him to do something, and he will actually create it and become creative and make things happen. You know, like my friend here.
But first,
Ralph is lagging out. Well.
First hit up Will Pleydon up there, because look at how amazing that is.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's totally amazing. Will Pleydon is an incredible artist. Ooh, almost lost that word. And you guys really have to check out his work. And like we were saying, if you are at EternalCon this weekend, go to Phil Russard's table, and you will be able to pick up some of Will's amazing pieces. Also, you can pick up the amazing book that is Tragedy, because it is a great read, a great superhero comic book that actually feels like the old days when comics actually meant something.
You can still get in on it on the early issues, man. Grab them up now.
Shadow did a Tragedy as well. There you go. Shadow's all over the place. Yeah, I forgot you did the Tragedy for him. That came out really nice.
I've got a feeling that I might be delivering it this weekend.
Oh boy.
Ooh, yeah.
Ralph, you better film it.
I should film it, yeah.
Or whatever's convenient for yourself.
Are you guys going to do a Bit and Apple live podcast from the convention?
We're gonna try, but it doesn't ever work out because
never does.
Yeah. Every time I try to go live from anywhere, it's like
yeah.
So we'll see what happens. What I do is I usually film it and then put it out. That seems to work better.
There's nothing better than sitting there watching those interviews from table to table from conventions, especially when you can't get
those are a blast.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, there you have it. Will, you're always welcome to come on the show. We like geeking out with you. It was a blast.
Loved being here. It was fantastic.
If you want to see us, you will see us at EternalCon this weekend. I will be on the panel with Izzy and Phil on Sunday at 12 noon. And if you want to pick up something from Will or from Phil, do so at Tragedy on Sunday at Phil's table. See you at Legendary Illustrations, which is Phil's table at EternalCon. That's Legendary Illustrations, which are a bunch of great guys with some great art. Our friend Robert Powers is actually part of Legendary Illustrations, and we all love ourselves some Pinguino's Revenge. So be there. And of course, next week we are off for Independence Day. So see us on Wednesday next week, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, when we have the Written Writ late right. And with that, I will do what we always do on the Written Writ and press the button